Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And these are all the books that I read in 2022. So I kind of want to do a little recap about how I fell in love with reading again in 2022 and all the books that I've been reading. So I've been reading a lot and I'm gonna rate them out of 5 and kind of talk about them because I love books. And you can tell who my favorite author is right now by how many books I have of hers. So first off, we have some series that I loved. First series that I actually dived into was the Angels Walking series by Karen Kingsbury. I love her. She's a Christian author and she's a Christian fiction author. So these are incredible books. They're not based off of true stories, but they're based off of Christian inspiration of biblical stories and different things that are by Christ-like living. So all these books are in a series and they're incredible. Honestly, I flew through these books within like 3 weeks, I would say, or maybe even less. And they're incredible. Probably one of my favorite series I've ever read in my life. So good. I definitely would rate them a 5 out of 5 out of 10. Like each one of them was incredible. But I think probably my favorite one was the first one or the second one. The third one was my least favorite, but it kind of wrapped it all together. It was amazing. So 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 5, whatever these book talkers do, or book people. Another popular one that I read this year was Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, and she's a Christian fiction author as well. So this is a wonderful book. Honestly, I loved the book. It was kind of hard to understand in the beginning, but you kind of had to get into it. It's kind of old country words and kind of sayings, so it's kind of harder to understand in a way, just because of the slang that can like show through the writing. But it was really great. I love this book. And if you're really interested in like reading this, I highly recommend. I honestly don't like the movie compared to reading the book. The book is way better than the movie. So if you've seen the movie and you liked it, then you're gonna love the book. And you'll think the book's better, I promise you. So this is really good. And it's a long read, but it's great, it's worth it. Another one that I read was Forgiving Paris, and it's also by Karen Kingsbury. It's a standalone book, but it goes with the Baxter series, but it's like, it could be read as a standalone, and I did read it as a standalone before I ventured into the Baxter series. But it's called Forgiving Paris, and it's a wonderful book about kind of redemption, about forgiving the past and forgiving what had happened and things that you have gone through, and it's a wonderful, wonderful book. I honestly would give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's really great. Another standalone book that I loved, like this book made me cry, and I never even cry in movies. Like I don't even cry and this kind of stuff, but this book, let me tell you, is incredible, and it made me cry because the redemption in this book, this is Karen Kingsbury, divine. The redemption in this book, and if I could give you an example, is a real life kind of 2022 version of Mary Magdalene's story in the Bible. And let me tell you, this is wonderful. Like, oh, I love it. I would give it a 5 out of 5, and you have to go read this. Like, you really do, because it is like, it makes you want to cry, but it's such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful story. Okay. Next series I ventured into is the Baxter series that I was talking about earlier. Here's the last book. So there is 5 books in this series. I think, yeah, 5 books in this series. Aren't they beautiful? So this is the first series that Karen Kingsbury did in the Baxter's series, so the Baxter family. All these books talk about the different siblings in the Baxter's family and kind of their stories and their testimonies. And it's pretty cool. It kind of gives you a background of what was going on in the family at the time, and it's really fun. So each of them start with an R. So Redemption, Remember, Return, Rejoice, and Reunion. So Karen Kingsbury does really well about keeping you hooked in the stories. So I definitely flew through these books, but they were really wonderful, and it made me want to go to the next series, which is so fun. I have not started the next series yet, but I loved these books and they were really, really fun. I will say that I would give it like a 4.5 stars out of 5. It's wonderful. Put that over there. I don't want him to fall over. Oh my gosh, look. This is Bernardo. My squishmallow. Alright. Another one that I started, which is this is the start of a series that I just read. It's called Sunrise, and it's a part of a Karen Kingsbury series. It's a part of the Sunrise series in Karen Kingsbury, and it is great. It's about another one of the Baxter siblings, and it's great. I would say I would give it like a 3 stars. I wasn't really hooked on this one because I had not read a couple books before, so I was kind of lost, but it was a really good book, and I love her writing. So another thing that I read was a standalone book called Love Story, and this was about the Baxter's family, but this was about the parents of the Baxter's family, about their story and their love story and what happened. And I love it. It was so sweet, and it was so it was just so joyful, but also through suffering they found Jesus, and oh, I love it. I love it. It was great. I give it like a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed reading this. Okay. Another book that I read, or the series that I read from Karen Kingsbury. Yet again, is there a theme? I think so. This is her Forever Faithful series. This is not in the Baxter series, by the way. This is Forever Faithful series, and this is wonderful. I'll kind of give you, there's one called Waiting for Morning and another called Moment of Weakness. So both of them are about like really kind of tragic stories and how God can work through tragedy. And it was really wonderful how God worked through these stories, and it was, oh, I loved it. I loved just like stepping into this world and seeing how God used the heartache and the struggle to be able to find joy in that and to find redemption from all those things. So it was really good. I would give these probably a 4 out of 5. Next, I read When We Were Young. Look how beautiful this cover is, by the way. Beautiful. This is When We Were Young by Karen Kingsbury. And it is wonderful. I read this more towards the beginning of the year. Let me see. This is not a part of the back. This is a standalone book. I'm trying to like refresh my brain. Because I read it so long ago, I feel like. Really beautiful. So it's basically a love story, and it was really great. I think it was wonderful. It kind of has the Baxter family in it a little bit, like in there, like kind of peeking, which is kind of cool how she does that, because one of the Baxter's kids, Carrie, is in this book too. Really good. Social media is part of this book. It was a good one. It wasn't one of my favorites. I think I would give it a 3. 3 is a solid 3. All right. So I have another, oh my gosh, this is the last book in the Forever Faithful series. I totally forgot about this. This is the last book in the Forever Faithful series. It is Halfway to Forever, so there's 3 of these. I didn't even realize that this was part of that, by the way. Okay, Ever After. So this is a part of 2 series, I'm pretty sure. This is part of a 2-part book, but I cannot find for the life of me the other book. I know I read it, but I can't find the other book. But this is Ever After by Karen Kingsbury, and it's more of a political kind of book, and I just wasn't really interested in the political theme of that. I'm just not really kind of like that. My brain doesn't work like that, but it was really good, and it was still good. Oh, it was still good. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10. Yeah. Wonderful. Getting to the end, y'all. All right, On Every Side. So this book was really good because it's also by Karen Kingsbury. If you can't tell, every one of these books is by Karen Kingsbury, except like 1 or 2. So this one is really good. It is so cool how she flips between like perspectives in the book, which is, I love that she does that in her writing. So basically it's talking about different perspectives, and then it gets to, it all comes together by the end of the book. So at the beginning you're kind of confused in a way, but then you figure out what's happening. But it's really good. I probably would get this one like a 3. All right. I loved this book. Truly Madly Deeply. I kind of want to reread this book. I really like this book. This one is Truly Madly Deeply by Karen Kingsbury. It's really beautiful. It is about actually one of the Baxter's family's kids, and he. It's so sweet and I love it. It's just wonderful how it's just a little love story. I love it. And how somebody got diagnosed with cancer, and how it was just so wonderful how God worked through that, and how God healed her, and all the wonderful things. I love this book. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. I want to reread this because I read this in the beginning of the year, but then I totally forgot about it until just now. I want to reread it. And then the last one is this one. It's called To the Moon and Back by Karen Kingsbury. And it is a romance book, and I loved it. It was great. I think it wasn't one of my favorites, of hers, but I did love it, and I think I'd give it probably a 3 out of 5 stars. Boom! Wait a minute, I have one more. So, I've read Purpose Driven Life this year, and I don't have it with me because I think I gave mine away to my sister. I did. My sister has my copy right now, but I'll put it right here. Purpose Driven Life. That is one of the best books I've ever read in my life, and you should totally read it too. That is all about helping to find your purpose and to find who you are in this world, why you're meant to be here, all that kind of stuff. Answers to the questions in that book. And then also, of course, I've been reading the Bible this year. This book is my lifeline and everything to me. 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 5, all the things. Hopefully, I'm going to finish the whole Bible by the end of next year, of course. But I'd love to break this in even more next year. Alrighty, I hope that you enjoyed my little book haul and some recommendations for this year. I love reading Christian fiction books, and I love reading books that glorify the Lord and that just make me laugh and help me have a good time, and know that you are loved by God and that you are chosen and that you are amazing. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you next week on my YouTube channel. Bye, friends.